The New York Knicks are stepping into the playoff spotlight with a monumental opportunity to challenge the Boston Celtics, a team that has been the gold standard in the East. Despite Boston's dominance in the regular season, sweeping the Knicks 4-0 and beating them by an average margin of 16 points per game, New York's postseason ambitions have an undeniable chance. Much of this chance hinges on the performance of their key player, Karl-Anthony Towns, who has been the subject of much debate throughout the season. For the Knicks to truly compete, Towns must step up in a big way. His inconsistency has been a concern, often failing to deliver when the team needed him the most. His role against Boston will be pivotal. He'll be tasked with asserting dominance, particularly against Kristaps Porzingis, and making his presence felt on the low block. The Celtics, while formidable, are not without their vulnerabilities. Jaylen Brown, dealing with a knee injury, and Drew Holiday, reportedly nursing an undisclosed injury, are not at full strength. This creates a rare opening for New York to capitalize on a potentially compromised Celtics squad. Towns' ability to be a force on both ends of the floor is crucial. Offensively, New York will need him to be a consistent scorer, one who can stretch the floor and create opportunities for his teammates. Defensively, Towns must be engaged, especially when Boston runs their pick-and-pop sets, a tactic that's in the cornerstone of their high-powered offense. He will need to step up, particularly when guarding the perimeter and closing out on shooters. If Towns can elevate his game, the Knicks might be able to steal a couple wins in this series, but will require him to be more assertive and efficient than ever before. However, the task ahead is daunting. Boston's lineup, even without 100% health, remains one of the most formidable in the league. Jalen Brunson, who has proven himself as one of the clutchest players in the playoffs, will need to continue his stellar play and take on a leadership role. His 40-point outburst in the previous series against the Pistons was a testament to his ability to deliver in the biggest moments. But now, facing a full-strength Celtics team, his scoring and playmaking will be tested like never before. For New York to even make this a competitive series, Brunson will need to continue to show up when it matters most, and most importantly, stay healthy. But the Knicks' chances aren't just about Towns and Brunson. They need contributions from every corner of the roster. Guys like Mikal Bridges, who has the defensive chops to match up with Boston's wing players, need to perform at a higher level. The defensive presence of Mitchell Robinson is also essential. His rim protection will be crucial, particularly in limiting Boston's fast breaks and easy layups. The Knicks' bench depth will also be tested, as Coach Tom Thibodeau has often been criticized for his over-reliance on starters, especially during a grueling playoff series. The rotation must be effective, and Thibodeau will need to find ways to get his reserve involved, especially if they are to compete with the Celtics' relentless offensive attack. On the other side, Boston is laser-focused on repeating as champions, but there are questions surrounding their future. With the offseason rapidly approaching, the Celtics are at a crossroads. The team has 5 players making over $28 million next season, including Porzingis, who is entering the final year of his contract. With ownership potentially looking to make moves to stay under the luxury tax threshold, the pressure will be on to evaluate whether this iteration of the Celtics can continue to coexist long-term. The looming financial decisions around Jaylen Brown's max contract extension will undoubtedly influence the team's approach this offseason. However, that's all in the background for now. What matters most is what happens on the court in the present moment. The Celtics, despite their injuries, remain a championship-caliber team. Brown and Tatum are both elite players, capable of dominating a series. If Brown can maintain his level of play and stay healthy, he will continue to be a critical factor in Boston's pursuit of another title. But there's also the matter of his future. If the Celtics do decide to move in a different direction, his performance in these playoffs could dictate his trade value, making it imperative for him to play at a high level in order to secure the best possible compensation for Boston should they decide to make changes. As the postseason intensifies, the Knicks face an uphill battle. Their regular season struggles against the top teams in the league, including their 0-4 record against the Celtics, highlight the challenges they will face. But there's still hope. If they can keep games close and force Boston to the fourth quarter, the Knicks might just be able to make this a series. With their backs against the wall, New York must prove they can close the gap between them and the Celtics both on the scoreboard and in their confidence. The stakes are high, and for the Knicks, this is a moment to prove they're more than just a team trying to survive. They need to show they can thrive under pressure and seize their moment. As for Boston, the question remains whether their current roster can stay intact or if the inevitable changes will begin soon. For now, the Celtics are focused on the here and now, the championship. But with a looming financial crunch and key decisions to make, the future of this team hangs in the balance. For the Knicks, a win against Boston, no matter how many games it takes, would send a statement to the league. It's time for them to rise to the occasion. But first, they'll have to get past the Celtics, who are intent on proving their championship medal once more.